everyone, welcome to Coach's Corner, week number 2. My name's Andy Boards. Glad to have you along with us. We have Coach Hand with us, going to talk about all the action against Allegheny. But first, let's check out the first half highlights of the first home game at Harold Burry Stadium on the new turf. It's a soggy Saturday in New Wilmington, but everybody ready for that first game on the new turf at Harold Burry Stadium. Kevin Franz, one of the guys ready. He's looking downfield. He finds Nick McCloskey early in the game. One of 40 pass attempts for Kevin Franz, and Nick McCloskey going to make all he can out of this one, getting into Allegheny territory, a 28-yard gain. And then Kevin Franz gives it up to McCloskey once again. This time he runs the ball for a yard, and might not have looked like much there, but 1 yard would have been all he needed to win the game. And this time, seeing some bad snaps from the Titans. Andrew Clark, the punter, can't quite get back there to get the snap. Just gets it away. The punt ends up going for a net gain of -4 yards. Very soggy football. You see the snap to TJ Salopek for Allegheny also going haywire, and Jake Martinez coming back, and a big loss on that play. Nick McCloskey with the ball when the Titans get it back, but he loses it because it's slippery. Recovered by Allegheny in Titan territory, but the Titans will end up getting the ball. Fans looking downfield inside the red zone, finds Gary Hutzler for the touchdown, but wait a minute. Flag on the play for illegal motion, sends him back 5 yards. Now you got to bring on the kicking unit. Here comes Fred Romeo, trying to make his 3rd field goal of the season. Kicks up and doink, right off the side of the goalpost. It's no good, so we're still scoreless. Kicking game a problem for the Titans. Andrew Clark has to kick that one in a line drive form. More pressure from Allegheny. The average punting, 8.5 yards for the Titans in the first half. For Allegheny, Matt Salini with a pretty good gain here, up 13 yards into Titan territory, but the very next play, snap, fumble, TJ Salopek loses it, Titans get it back. Kevin Franz now looking downfield. What a play here. Gubish tips the ball, and Andrew Rooney comes down with it, but it's still scoreless at halftime at Harold Burry Stadium. And now I'm joined by Coach Jeff Hand, who got this team their first win of the season. Coach, glad to have you back with us.
Well, thanks for having me.
Now let's talk about a little bit of preparation for this game. It's been raining for possibly 24 hours since it was getting close to game time. How do you prepare a team for conditions like that when it doesn't happen that often?
Well, I mean, I think it's just a mental mindset. You have to just prepare them that this is what it's going to be, and you know, and it is what it is. We have to make sure that we're taking care of the ball. And I think for the most part, for as far as rainy as it was, I mean, to only have 3 turnovers in the game is actually low. The concern that we had was obviously long snapping on both teams.
Now let's talk about the field conditions, because it was wet, and if it would have been 1 year ago, Coach Joe Fusco, who called the game with me on the TV side, said all the players would have been up to their knees in mud. Did the field hold up to its expectations?
Oh, I mean, it's wonderful. I mean, and we knew that it would hold up extremely well like it did, and that's what these fields are best for, and to be able to play in any weather condition.
Let's talk about the kicking game a little bit too, because we saw lots of snaps on both sides of the ball getting lost or either high or too low. How do you remedy that for the next game coming up?
Well, I think part of it is just the being able to know that you know, we made those mistakes and why we made those mistakes, and really the rain or the field didn't have anything to do with that. It was breakdown in techniques, and we have to correct those techniques.
Now, as far as offensive performance is concerned, we're going downfield, and then it's like the 40-yard line, it seems like a wall gets hit. And then we'll talk at the end of the game about how that was obviously, the wall was cleared. But as a coach, when you look at the offensive performance, they're moving downfield, but there's that wall. What was missing?
Well, I think, you know, it's finishing drives, and, you know, and it's finding the way to, you know, make the big play to get past that wall, so to speak, as you're saying, and we weren't making that play, and then at the end of the game we were able to make those plays.
The defense stepped it up a lot too compared to last game. They didn't give up the big play, which was pretty impressive. So what kind of confidence does that give you for the defense as far as the potential for the rest of the season?
Well, I think most importantly it gives the guys confidence, and they know that they can do it, and they know that if they play to the best of their ability, then good things are going to happen, which virtually was a shutout.
Now, coming into this game, Allegheny and Westminster met 7 of the previous years. All 7 years had a game against them, and it seemed like the visiting team would always come out on top on a low-scoring game. Coincidence as a coach, or is it something of a case of the home team needing to step up like they did in this game?
Well, I think it was a coincidence for the most part, but it's always nice to break streaks like that, especially when they go in our favor like they did on Saturday.
Now, as far as moving the ball, it seemed like the Titans were really starting to hone in on something at the end of the half especially. So if Allegheny was moving the ball at the same time, what is your thought on that with the score being goose eggs? Should drives have been finished like they said they should have been?
Well, I believe, we need to step up and continue to stop them. I think, if you're a coach on their side of things, they're going to say that, yeah, we made these mistakes. We have to correct these mistakes. We have to finish these drives. But, the bottom line is I felt going into halftime that, we were able to control the ball. And if we continue to do that and play great defense, good things would happen.
And we did see a lot of smart decisions in that first half from quarterback Kevin Franz. How has that offense stepped up compared to that first game against Heidelberg? What did you like about their efforts in this first half?
Well, I think from stepping up from the first game is we were able to move the ball more consistently, especially early in the game. And I think that was probably the biggest difference. We were able to run pretty much our whole offense, and the way we were able to spread the ball around.
Okay, we're going to let the fans see if the goose egg score can be broken in the second half. We'll check out second half highlights from the Allegheny-Westminster game. Titan coaches hoping something happens for the Titans and the fans in the second half, but right away Kevin Franz gets sacked by Alan Messenger, who was in the backfield all game. And we're going to finally see if this kicking game is back up to par. Andrew Clark punting it, and the ball's fumbled back at the 10-yard line. The Titans try to pounce on it, 3 or 4 opportunities to try and get it, but Allegheny falls back on the ball. Next series, TJ Salopek looking downfield, finds Jake Veit, and he's going to get the ball down inside Titan territory once again. Salopek just on fire, finds O'Brien. He's going to run into Titan territory as well a little bit later in the drive. And then Andrew Clark can't handle the snap. It's over his head, and that's the first points of the game, scored on a safety, believe it or not. But here's the drive of the game that made it happen. Kevin Franz play-action pass to Chad Rosatelli, 251 passing yards for Kevin Franz. That is his 7th game of 250 yards or more. And look at Gary Hutzler, his classmate, catching the ball and getting inside the red zone, setting up this Nick McCloskey 1-yard touchdown run. So the Titans going to try and go for 2, and you be the judge here, folks. Did he make it? He goes to the goal line. Looks like he gets in, but the officials rule him just short of the goal line, so the Titans hanging on by 4 points. That means a touchdown for Allegheny could win it, and they're wasting no time. Quick pass to Jake Veit once again, gets inside Titan territory. Next play, Salopek looking down once again. It is Jake Veit against Kyle Wolf, and getting inside the red zone for Allegheny. Fans are clutching, hoping that they can hang on defensively. And here's the defensive play of the game. Watch Mario Camerata get way up in the air, deflecting the pass away, and the Titans are going to hang on by a thread. Fans loving it. First game at Harold-Bury Stadium on the new turf, and the Titans win 6-2. Now, Coach, that was just a great moment, watching Mario Camerata getting up for the ball. But let's react to the win for a moment. It kind of followed the trend for the past 8 years, being low-scoring, except this time the home team won. What kind of confidence does that add to know that your first home game of the season is in the bag and a win?
Oh, it gives us all the confidence in the world, and it gets us moving, one step closer to where we need to be. And I think every win gives you a little bit more and more confidence.
And that was the first home win for the Titans since 2000, a long time ago since that happened. But talking about from a coaching standpoint, 50 minutes plus in that game without points from either offense. How did the strategy change, particularly on that final drive?
Well, I don't believe the strategy changed a whole lot, other than the fact that we were able to make the plays. And what we classified as the big play of the game, and I believe you did in your highlights as well, is what shifted the field position big time was the pass completion to Chad Rossatelli, and that was, we feel the play that kind of put us over the edge, and that was the big play we were looking for.
Did you feel like at some point in that game that it was going to be a battle of field position primarily because there's that safety that happened, and then all of a sudden the Titans looked like they were on fire? Was it going to be a game of field position in your eyes?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's always a game of field position. I mean, I think that's that's football. Football is a kind of a more fun way to play chess, so to speak, and I think when the momentum got shifted out of our corner and was shifting in Allegheny's direction, we needed to grab that and shift that pendulum back, and we did.
And talking about that solid drive to end the game, 8 plays, 70 yards plus, and you have a great quarterback in Kevin Franz making just great decisions downfield. What's that like to know that you can confide in somebody under pressure like that, making the plays to win the game?
Well, it's always nice to know that you have a returning quarterback, and Kevin consistently knows that when he's under pressure, he's going to actually perform a little bit better, which a lot of our guys do, and they make you nervous as a coach because they get you in those pressure situations, but in this one, we came out on top.
And let's talk about, I think, the defensive play of the game when Mario Camerata just got way up in the air and deflected that pass away late in the going to seal the deal. What's it like to know that your defense has stepped it up and going into the next game?
Well, I think overall the entire defense stepped it up, and Mario, making a play at the end of the game, was certainly nice, and it actually, the way things turned out, the way he played it was just right, and it's always nice to know that they're able to make those plays.
And the play that really set that offense going, as you were talking about, was that play-action pass downfield to Chad Rossatelli. It seemed like on that drive, everything was executed perfectly, from the small runs all the way to the 1-yard touchdown run. What was different about the drive compared to the others?
Well, we were able to mix it up and keep Allegheny off balance, and anytime you can keep somebody off balance, and it's going to be a good solid drive.
Who really made an impact on you overall in this game as far as being cool and collected under pressure?
Well, I think the entire team. I think you have to give everyone credit. I mean, especially after they scored a safety on us, and the entire team rallied and overcame that.
Okay, Coach, we're going to talk to you more a little bit later and get a preview of the game against St. Vincent. Stick around. More Coach's Corner coming up next. Ready to get your broadcasting career off and rolling? Then it's time to explore your options by being a part of Titan Radio at Westminster College.
We try to run the radio station as closely as what might be found in the real world.
There's student anchors, student reporters, student producers.
It's really hands-on, and you learn a lot your first year.
From keeping the community informed,
I'm Pamela Marlowe with the Titan Radio News Update,
to keeping the community entertained.
Maroon 5, going out on tour again.
You'll get all the radio experience you could ask for, and more, only at Westminster College.
If we can't beat the competition's price, we'll just give you the car.
But a vehicle is more than price.
A whole lot more.
Gio Crivelli consistently invests in manpower, training, and equipment to deliver car buyers peace of mind.
From our state-of-the-art repair and service garage to our award-winning auto body repair center, Gio Crivelli is prepared to earn your trust.
Gas, stingy, and pallor to rugged Silverado, Gio Crivelli Chevrolet, Route 18, Newcastle.
And remember, if we can't beat the competition's price, we'll just give you the car.
Good evening, football fans. I'm Christina Rossetto, back with another edition of this week's Pack Report. After a rough first week where only W&J came out on the winning side, the Pack rebounded this week with a handful of victories. The biggest win of the week was an on-the-road victory for St. Vincent College, who won their first game since the program's return last year after a 46-year hiatus from the turf. The Bearcats narrowly defeated Gallaudet University 23-22 after coming back from a 17-point deficit. A daring play in the final minutes of the fourth quarter sealed the comeback victory for St. Vincent. Quarterback Kevin Corona pitched the ball to Rob James, who threw to a wide-open Marvin Danny 41 yards downfield to the Bison 1-yard line. The Bearcats scored on the next play, and an Aaron Jones extra point gave St. Vincent the monumental win. The Bearcats will head down here to face the Titans next week to open pack play. Kickoff from Bury Stadium will be at 1:30 p.m. Grove City also captured their first home opener win since 2004 with a 19-10 victory over Carnegie Mellon. Despite trailing 3-0 after a defensive first half, the Wolverines scored 16 unanswered points in the second half to take the lead for good. Grove City forced 4 turnovers in the second half alone, one resulting in a Wolverine touchdown. Brian Mercer led the way for Grove City with 115 yards and 1 touchdown. The Wolverines will open pack play at home with a night game against Bethany on Saturday. In a rare offensive misfire, Teal was shut out on a soggy, rain-soaked field by host Albion 16-0. The Britons had the advantage in almost every offensive stats category, including outgaining the Tomcats 303 yards to 137 total yards. Quarterback Willie Bova led the way for Teal with 106 passing yards. The Tomcats will host 14th-ranked Washington and Jefferson from Alumni Stadium at 1:30 on Saturday. Bethany came away with their 4th consecutive home opener win in the season with a 34-19 victory over Kentucky Christian University. The Bison rallied in the final quarter to overcome a 5-point deficit and score 20 unanswered points to defeat the Knights. Eric Walker led the way on the ground with 76 yards and scored 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter alone, while quarterback Chad Smith totaled 168 yards and 1 touchdown. Bethany will open pack action with a trip to Grove City on Saturday. Waynesburg was able to come away with their first win of the season despite the absence of All-American running back Robert Heller, who was out indefinitely with an ankle injury. The Yellow Jackets narrowly outlasted Hanover in a hard-fought road win, 34-32. It came down to the wire, but Waynesburg was able to complete a 12-play march down into the Panthers' end zone on a Billy Becker 10-yard TD to narrowly escape with the win. Hanover made one final push with a touchdown as time expired, but a misfired 2-point conversion gave the Jackets the win. Waynesburg dominated in the ground game, outgaining the Panthers 230 yards to -25. Waynesburg will host Thomas More for their pack opener at 1:30 on Saturday. Defending pack champion W&J upended Frostburg State in their home opener 49-21. The Presidents led 21-0 just 16 minutes into the contest. While W&J was never forced to punt during the game, Frostburg did not gain a first down within their 4th possession. Quarterback and pack offensive player of the week, Bobby Swallow, totaled 391 yards and 3 touchdowns, while Craig Besong pulled down a career-high 14 catches and 139 yards. W&J will travel to Teal on Saturday to open the pack play. Perhaps it was the 7-hour travel time or the fact that they faced the 12th-ranked team in Division III. Whatever the case, Geneva could not earn their first win of the season. The Golden Tornadoes were routed 48-6 by Division III powerhouse Salisbury University on Saturday. The loss was the worst since a 2002 45-0 loss to California University of Pennsylvania, and is the first time Geneva has dropped to 0-2 since 1999. The Seagulls set the tone with a pair of 60-plus yard touchdowns 10 minutes into the game. Geneva's lone score came on a blocked punt where Matt Dean rushed into the end zone from 2 yards out. However, it was not enough as Salisbury went on to score 21 unanswered points to close out the game. Geneva has a bye week this week, but will return to action in pack play at Teal on September 27th. Well, that's going to do it for this week's Pack Report. I'm Christina Rossetto. Be sure to tune in next week. NFL Pick'em Challenge will be back with Andy Bortz and Coach Hand and I will have the results from the first week of pack action. Stay tuned. More Coach's Corner is on the way.
And if so, the Broadcast Communications Department at Westminster College is where you need to be. At Westminster, you learn what it takes to be live out in the field. Westminster lets you learn all aspects, from behind the scenes in the truck, directing and running instant replay, to filming the action with a camera or announcing play-by-play. So if you want hands-on, live experience, check out the Broadcast Communications major at Westminster College. For more information, visit us online at titanradio.net.
So you're a huge Western Pennsylvania football fan? Then ncnewsonline.com is for you. Crunch is an award-winning internet site of the Newcastle News devoted to area high school football. where you'll get a daily fix of schedule, scores, rosters, highlights, opinion, and player profiles, plus video and photo galleries. Online at ncnewsonline.com. It's football coverage as it happens, designed for you, the dedicated fan. Crunch online at ncnewsonline.com.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner, everyone, as we break down the second Titan football game as they hosted Allegheny. And right now, I'm joined by the guy who did all the running for the Titans this weekend, Nick McCloskey. Nick, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about your role as a team captain before we talk about anything else. We talked to one of your co-captains, Jordan Blinn, last week, and he was talking about his role as a team captain. How do you define the role of team captain for your players?
Well, our captains are chosen by your teammates, and I think that when your teammates choose your captains, they look up to you and they look to you for leadership. So your leadership role definitely increases, and I think that's something that the captains have to, look at and set a good example.
And let's talk about your season last year. You had nearly 1,000 yards. You come into this season, you guys got a positive record in the PAC, and you're trying for a PAC championship. What's the effort like this year? Are you guys impressed with your effort so far? Are you guys ready to go for it again?
Right. Well, the first game was a wake-up call. But, maybe that was something that we needed. It led us into our second game, our victory, and we got a lot of work to do. We got to keep on progressing. We just can never plateau throughout the whole season. So I think the most important thing is just keep on working hard and don't plateau.
And let's talk about the most recent game. You scored the winning touchdown for the team. Everybody's excited. What's it like to be relied on having your number called and being in that end zone celebrating as you guys take the lead?
I appreciate that. It's a good compliment, but the package that we actually run on that goal line play is a package that we have a lot of confidence in, especially in a short downage situation. So that package we have a lot of confidence in that, and we're really confident that we can get the downs or the first downs we needed with that.
So overall, how's the rushing attack for the entire squad this year so far?
The rushing attack's coming along, from camp to the scrimmage to the first game to the second game. It's really progressing, and that's what we just need to keep on working on, is that progression.
Now, one of the things that I was always interested in wondering about was with the new field turf. Like I said, we talked to Jordan Blinn last week. He said it was nice and soft. It was all gushy at times. What did you think of the field when you played on it in that soggy rain?
Oh, it's definitely much better than playing on the natural surface of grass, especially at times during rain like that. So it kind of takes some of the environmental factor out of it, and it makes it more playable on.
As a running back, how do you prepare for a game with a scenario like that? Because it doesn't happen too often that it rains for 24 straight hours. What kind of mentality do you have to take, or is there a difference?
Well, there's a real mental mentality you have to take to it. You have to, accept that the weather's not going to change. You're going to have to play no matter what, and really focus on keeping the football high and tight, which, sad to say that I had one fumble, but, I'll learn from that fumble and just, keep my mindset that I have to keep that ball high and tight.
Well, one of the cool things that I like about your play is that you're also good when you run outside and when you catch passes. You've caught a pass in every one of the games you've played so far in your Titan career. What's it like to have that versatility factor in your running game?
It's good. It's a part of our offense, to have it's a screen pass where the running back goes out like that, and it really opens things up, spreads the field out, opens things up to happen in the middle, and it really complements some of our other offensive plays.
And one of the things that you talk about there with complementing your offensive plays is that you can be used also as a decoy for a play-action pass, and that's what won the game. So it seems like your role is really spread out on the team. What's that like?
Well, it's nice. Like Coach said, you got to have a balance with the offense. The pass game complements the run game, and the run game complements the pass game. And when you're able to run 50-50, pass and run, it really works out well for the offense.
Coming into the season, the goals, I think, are pretty much what set the standard for the team. What were your goals coming into 2008 and 2009?
Well, I had some personal goals of having more rushing yards than last season, having less turnovers than last season. As a team goal, our vision is always the PAC, to be PAC champions. And I think that's the most important thing is a team goal, not really individual goals.
What does the future for Nick McCloskey hold?
Well, hopefully to be a future PAC champion here. I think it's definitely a goal that we can accomplish. I'm a junior right now, so I have one more year after this, and I think if the team sticks together, we can accomplish our vision.
Being a part of this squad and going after this PAC championship, how much confidence do you have now that you've got that first home win under your belt?
It's a big confidence booster. For really everybody on the team, it shows us that we were down, only minutes left to go in the game, and we never got down on ourselves. We always knew once they got that 2 points, we were like, okay, now's the time to put it in the end zone, and we got it done.
Got a lot of inspiration as a captain there. Nick, thanks for being here on the show with us.
Thank you for having me.
Stick around. We're going to have Coach Han come back, and we're going to preview our next game against St. Vincent. You're watching Coach's Corner.
How would you like to sit in a college classroom where you know everyone's name?
Oh, hey, how's it going?
At Westminster College, our students aren't just another face in a lecture hall of 200. They're people, individuals with a smile and a story eager to know you.
So the other day I was sitting around...
Learn the skills you need while having a close relationship with your teachers and classmates at Westminster. So if you too want to be known by name, check out Westminster on the web at westminster.edu.
And welcome back to Coach's Corner. We've got Coach Jeff Hand back in the hot seat, going to talk about our next game against St. Vincent. St. Vincent coming to Harold-Burry Stadium for the second game on the brand new turf. Coach, we saw in the first game against Allegheny, it seemed like, you mentioned it earlier, finishing off drives is going to be the key. How do you coach a team to finish the drive and finish a good series?
Well, the key is getting everybody ready to play and getting everybody to be on the same page and continue to use our entire offense and really pull everything together and make sure that we realize that it's not one person, it's an entire offense that has to step it up.
Now, St. Vincent coming into this game, they just won their first game in over 4 decades, believe it or not, and they got to have some added confidence on their end. But what do you think is going to be the key against them, considering last year you put up a whaling number of points against them? What's the key?
Well, the key for them is that they do have that confidence. They're coming off that big victory, and they have a good group to bring into Burry Stadium, and they are a much improved team. And our guys need to make sure that this has to be a big positive step in our direction by coming out ready to play and taking it to them.
So I guess the big thing also is that the defense forced Allegheny to punt the ball 10 times, and they only allowed 2 points. Is the defense where it needs to be now?
Well, I don't think you can ever say that defense is where it needs to be. I think the key in in any sport to play good defense, it's a matter of playing it consistently, and we proved that we can play it. Now we just have to prove that we have to play good defense consistently.
That fan turnout at Allegheny, too, was something, wasn't it? There were a lot of people there, a lot of cheering going on. How much does that add to the atmosphere and the confidence of the players?
Well, I think this is an exceptional year for us as far as support. We have an exceptional group of parents that are supporting us, I think, because of Saturday being the dedication of the Fusco Plaza and the many people that came back for that and stuck around to watch the game for that. I think it was a great, it was a great crowd.
Okay, Coach, we'll be looking forward to talking about another Titan win. Thanks for being on the show.
Well, thanks for having me again.
Stay tuned next week for more Coach's Corner. I'm Andy Board.
Pollution.
No messy creams or gels. Activon. Apply.